She is a shining star.
The confidence, the flair, like she's a performer.
And the first triple-double for a rookie, Caitlin Clark has it.
She deserves all the praise in the world that she's getting right now.
More people want to watch. More people want to tune in.
Step back, hits a three. A new career high for Caitlin Clark.
Imagine an athlete so magnetic, so influential, that her presence alone is transforming an entire professional league. Caitlin Clark isn't just another basketball star. Caitlin Clark is the player who's bringing fame and attention back to the WNBA. From record-breaking viewership numbers to becoming the face of women's sports, Caitlin Clark's impact is undeniable. But can one player truly carry the weight of an entire league? Caitlin Clark's basketball story didn't begin in the WNBA, but her rise to superstardom has been a long time coming. Even before she set foot on a professional court, Clark was making headlines as a phenom at the University of Iowa. During her collegiate career, Caitlin Clark developed a reputation as a long-range sniper with deadly accuracy, a playmaker with remarkable court vision, and a leader who could take control of a game at any moment. From the very beginning, Caitlin Clark didn't just want to be good, she wanted to be great. Her style of play drew comparisons to some of the biggest names in men's basketball, and her swagger on the court earned her a legion of fans. The way she shot from well beyond the three-point line, threaded impossible passes, and dropped triple-doubles seemed effortless. But it wasn't just her on-court dominance that made Clark special. It was her ability to attract attention. Clark was already a household name in women's basketball by the time she reached the 2023 NCAA Final Four, and it was there that she cemented her legacy. Her showdown against LSU's Angel Reese during the championship game generated more buzz than any previous women's basketball event. In fact, it drew more viewers than most of the men's NCAA tournament games. Clark's ability to make people care about women's basketball was an indication that she was about to change the game forever. When Caitlin Clark declared for the 2024 WNBA draft, the excitement around her couldn't have been higher. She was selected first overall by the Indiana Fever, a team in need of a franchise player to bring them back to relevance. From the moment Clark donned a Fever jersey, it was clear that her arrival was about to shift the WNBA landscape in ways no one had ever seen before. Clark's first game as a professional was nothing short of spectacular. Her debut against the Los Angeles Sparks shattered WNBA viewership records, drawing over 2.1 million viewers. Social media exploded with highlights of her jaw-dropping passes and deep three-pointers. Suddenly, Caitlin Clark wasn't just a rookie, she was the most talked about player in the league. Her impact on the league wasn't just on the court though. Caitlin Clark was breathing life back into the WNBA. Her jersey quickly became the top seller in the league. She dominated sports headlines, and her games became must-watch events. From sold-out arenas to increased television ratings, it was clear that the Caitlin Clark effect was real. Fans weren't just tuning in to see the Fever play, they were tuning in to watch Caitlin Clark. There's no doubt that the WNBA has always struggled with visibility compared to its male counterpart. Attendance and viewership were often modest, sponsorships were hard to come by, and the general public seemed largely unaware of the league's most talented players. That all changed when Caitlin Clark entered the league. Clark's games were not only drawing more attention, but were also bringing in new fans to the sport. Her highlight reel performances captivated audiences who had previously never paid attention to women's basketball. By the end of the 2024 regular season, WNBA games featuring Clark averaged 3 times the viewership of any other game. Her presence on the court was undeniably responsible for a 39% rise in attendance at Indiana Fever home games, and several of those games sold out for the first time in years. The WNBA, which had long been searching for its next superstar, had found it in Caitlin Clark. More importantly, Clark wasn't just popular in basketball circles. She was becoming a pop culture icon. Celebrities attended her games, sports analysts couldn't stop talking about her, and her social media presence exploded. For the first time in years, the WNBA was part of the national sports conversation, and it was all thanks to one player, Caitlin Clark. But with all this newfound attention came an uncomfortable reality. The WNBA was becoming reliant on one star to carry the league. As Clark's fame skyrocketed, the league faced the daunting challenge of making sure the Caitlin Clark effect didn't fizzle out. Would the WNBA be able to maintain momentum when she wasn't playing? The question that has loomed large over the WNBA is whether it can sustain this newfound popularity when Caitlin Clark isn't on the court. It became glaringly obvious when the Fever were eliminated from playoff contention in 2024. Without Clark's star power, the league saw a massive drop in viewership, up to 70% for some of the key playoff matchups. It raised the question, is the WNBA becoming too reliant on Caitlin Clark? Is she the real star power in the league? Clark's dominance was both a blessing and a challenge for the league. While her ability to draw fans is invaluable, it also revealed a significant problem. The WNBA lacked depth when it came to marketable stars who could keep the audience engaged. Fans who tuned in to watch Clark weren't necessarily sticking around for the other games. This isn't uncommon in sports. LeBron James's absence often caused dips in NBA viewership. But for the WNBA, it was more alarming because the league's overall visibility had always been fragile. The reliance on Clark is understandable, but it also points to a larger issue that the WNBA needs to address. The league must find ways to not only build on the momentum Clark has created, but also to develop and promote other stars who can help carry the league forward. While Clark is a superstar, she can't be the WNBA's entire marketing plan. Beyond the numbers and the fame, Caitlin Clark is having a more profound impact on the WNBA. She's changing how the game is played. Clark's ability to shoot from anywhere on the court, combined with her precision passing and basketball IQ, has pushed the boundaries of what we expect from women's basketball. She's not just a scorer, she's a playmaker who can take over games in ways that make her nearly impossible to defend. Clark has brought a level of excitement to the game that has drawn comparisons to the likes of Stephen Curry in the NBA. Just as Stephen Curry's three-point shooting revolutionized the NBA's style of play, Clark's deep-range shooting is forcing teams to rethink their defensive strategies. She has also elevated the importance of playmaking in the women's game, making her teammates better and giving the WNBA a new style to showcase. Her swagger and confidence on the court have also introduced a new wave of energy to the league. Clark is unapologetically competitive, and her intensity is infectious. She's the kind of player who wants the ball in her hands during crunch time, and that fearless mentality has captured the imagination of fans. Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA is undeniable, but as she heads into her second season, the question remains, can she continue to carry the weight of an entire league on her shoulders? There's no doubt that her presence will continue to draw fans, but the WNBA can't afford to become a one-player league. Clark's talent is generational, but for the WNBA to thrive long-term, the league must invest in developing more stars and improving overall visibility. The WNBA now faces a critical crossroads. Caitlin Clark has given the league a much-needed boost, but the future depends on how well the WNBA can capitalize on her success. Marketing needs to expand beyond Clark, and the league must find ways to make more players household names. Clark's rise should be the beginning of a new era for the WNBA, not the league's sole lifeline. Caitlin Clark has already done more for the WNBA than anyone could have predicted. She's brought fame, fans, and excitement back to the league at a time when it desperately needed a hero. Her talent, charisma, and competitive fire have turned her into the face of women's basketball. And as her star continues to rise, so too does the WNBA. But while Clark's presence is invaluable, her journey is just beginning. The WNBA must ensure that the excitement she's generated continues to grow, even when she's not on the court. For Caitlin Clark, the future is bright, and the league she's saving has a chance to reach new heights if it plays its cards right. One thing is for certain, Caitlin Clark has changed the game, and the WNBA will never be the same again.